Man, it's hot out there. It's gonna open, right? It's hot out there. Jonathan, man, we are live. It's happening again. It's another wrestling podcast. I'm Credo.
JB.
That's it, man. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. ACW Uprising.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar's back in town. A lot of things happened over the past few weeks, and we gotta get into it. What do you think about it?
I mean, I've got some big feelings. About a miscarriage of justice that I witnessed live and in person. So
What happened?
Well, you were there. You know what happened. I was at ACW Uprising at Barton Orchards, and right off the bat, I want to say, what a beautiful venue.
Town Garden Arena, man. It's a diamond in the rough, I think. But it's not even rough. It's a great farm, but it's like, it's like you wouldn't think it would be right there.
No, and like it really felt like there's cornfields surrounding you, and there's really good food, and there was music and all that stuff. But then you like walk up to this. It's like an arena, and not what you typically think about watching wrestling. But all that aside, the event was great. The wrestling was. I hurt the next day, like feeling some of those moves so close and in person. However, you've been bringing people on, you've been bringing people in, and I figured it's time that I return that favor. There was somebody who, again, my opinion, got robbed this past Saturday, and I have some big feelings about it, and I would like to bring on the son of the sun, the king of kale, possibly top 5 right now in my listings. It's none other than Leo Sparrow.
Leo Sparrow. Leo, are you out there? You promised me Leo Sparrow.
Listen, he's here. He's gonna be here.
Hey guys, he's jumping on shortly. Stand by.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I guess it's true.
And yeah, well, see, I can do this too. I can get people. But my problem is much like I've spoke about Richard Holiday in the past and my thoughts on him and how he's there. He's a megastar. I'm a little bit concerned that people aren't taking my boy Leo Sparrow as seriously as he needs to be taken right now.
Sure.
And there was some. He's
hey
here.
Guys,
with
he's in
us.
now.
He's here with us.
You can hear me now?
I can hear him.
All right.
Leo
Say his name and he appears. Call me Sparrow Hendry, because here I am.
Leo, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I don't know if you heard what I was talking about, but I'm a little upset. I feel like you got robbed last Saturday at Barton Orchards.
Don't remind
I
him.
think you're absolutely right.
And can I talk about the WrestleMania-esque entrance that Leo Sparrow had?
From the cornfield, man. He
is a child of the corn, and he came out on a hay wagon, like
smoking hay wagon.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
I am the king of kale, but on Saturday, August 9th, I was the king of the crops because that was my throne.
Well, you got robbed, as I've mentioned, but I just want to say that huge upside for a Leo Sparrow. I will say it with you right here. I'll say it with you off the air. I definitely saw a very competitive match on Saturday, and looking forward to seeing you and what else you have going down the road. Steve, you were talking a little bit of smack about Leo, weren't you?
I don't talk smack about anybody because I have to walk into them. I don't want to. I'm not a wrestler. I don't want to get
funny how it's not smack talk. Now I'm sitting right here. Go ahead, Steve.
Exactly.
I don't have any problem with anybody. I love everybody. But no, it was a crazy night. For you as a wrestler, Leo, what did you think about Barton Orchards? Because it was our first time there. It was a lot of people's first time there. I think it was like the second event to be held there this year, and because it just opened. So I don't know. Pro wrestling was, I think, one of the best ways to kick off the year for Barton Orchards.
It was amazing. The second I walked in, I said, this venue was built for something like pro wrestling because cool things need to happen in this building. The first thing I saw when I walked in was the disco ball. And I said, that's how I know that this is a cool building. And the stage and the ramp and the ring right in the middle. great building, definitely great find for ACW, and I'm glad that they brought us in.
Now, Leo, I definitely don't want to bring up what happened because obviously a travesty, miscarriage of justice. But
Yep.
obviously every match is a teachable moment, a learning experience. I've already wrote some letters to ACW management.
Thank you.
I really think it needs to, be told. Has anyone talked to you about plans, October 18th, Mischief Night, tickets going fast? This is ACW.com. Has there been any mention about a rematch, anything like that? What's going on with you right now?
I mean, some people are saying that I lost fair and square. I should go to the back of the line, but that's not what I think. Maybe I should just hop the line and go back to the front and try again. I think that sounds good. So a rematch sounds great. Or there's a really cool fatal four-way. Maybe I'll just do what I did at Fallout and just interject myself in the match. I'll make it a fatal five-way. Maybe I'll just win the ACW championship.
Well, see, that's what I think that people in ACW management didn't realize, that you still, you got suckered into a match with Carly. It was a non-sanctioned sort of situation. Like you were not 100%. I can't imagine after some of that punishment. So to throw you right back in, I have, that's where I take umbrage with that sort of situation. And talking about the line, Leo Sparrow is the line. That's the way I see it.
That's right.
So, I think, Steve, you know some people. I think you need to figure something out here for this.
No, for sure. Well, let me talk to you about this, guys, because not only was the Barton show, the Uprising, it was a little bit of a smaller show compared to what the ACW has done the past 3 shows in Poughkeepsie. So it's a little bit of a smaller venue, but I don't want to say that it was smaller because, like, you had the open space. It was like they took a barn, kind of split it in half, so you had a nice outdoor part of it. It had the nice sunset going down.
Yep.
On the other side, you got like a venue ready for a concert or a pro wrestling show. It was just something unique, I think, for everybody, especially in this day and age where a lot of wrestling could be at high schools, could be gyms or whatnot. It was just a different look, and it felt like it was ACW's own Sunday night heat, if you will.
Sure.
Huh?
And I think that is a testament to ACW and the foresight of thinking outside of the box. They're home, obviously, right now, MJN Center, rich history, but I think they're creating new history with Barton Orchard. And, I definitely think that it was a very unique, and we got to see, again, the environment a lot. We saw some crowd work, if you will, some wrestling out into the crowd, but then, again, the ability to see WrestleMania-esque entrances like we saw with Leo Sparrow. Now, Leo, for those of you out there who aren't aware of Leo Sparrow, obviously you're a big part of ACW. What else do you have going on in the near future that people may be able to get to see you in action?
Well, something I'm really excited about is this weekend, I think I'm going to launch the Leo Sparrow Micro Brawler, which is a chance I'm taking on myself. I'm going to bring in all my shows and see if I can separate myself from some other people in the locker room. So that's just how the King of Kale does it, Traveling every weekend, trying to get myself on shows, trying to get out there, get myself in front of people. There's only one right way to do it. So this Thursday, if anybody's around, you can find me in Brooklyn for Outlaw Wrestling and various other wrestling companies in coming months.
Awesome. I will need you to save one of those at least for me in October.
Sounds good.
One of those
you can pick it
micro
up at the table.
Perfect.
Now, Leo, I got to ask you, you're vegan, correct? I mean, that's
right.
So as a non-vegan, I remember seeing stories, maybe you could relate with this, but with Brian Danielson at the time, who was I believe he was a vegan, right? But from just traveling all the time, it was hard for him to, I guess, maintain his diet or just to eat as a vegan on the road. So, have you found it hard traveling a lot with wrestling, maybe to just maintain what you're, just to I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to talk plants. I don't know how to. It's different for me.
Sure.
It can be challenging for sure, trying to find the right places. But luckily, like at rest stops, there's always like a Chipotle. Or there's always something like that where I can get some rice and beans, or a 7-Eleven where I can find something easy. Or I just bring my own food, be prepared. So It's, certain things I've learned along the way that keep me eating what I need to be eating.
My wife is a vegetarian / sometimes vegan, and is a big fan of the Impossible Whopper. So I know
I've had a few Impossible Whoppers, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm eating meat or I don't know what I'm eating, but it still tastes the same. And I don't know if that's the scary part. Because was I even eating meat beforehand? Or I don't know. This whole interview has taken a whole turn.
Sure,
but no, Leo, tell me though, because I mean, you're a pro wrestler. You have to stay in shape. You have to be physically active a lot. Is it hard for you to kind of find, I mean, even just in your normal everyday life, like, are you having to eat more kinds of proteins that are a lot more than like a normal person if they were eating chicken or a steak or something to just for your body? Is it, I don't know, as an athlete, how is it just hard to maintain this?
I don't mind eating the same things every day. You know, any bodybuilder you meet is going to say, "Oh, I eat chicken, rice, and broccoli every single day." So I kind of relate it to that. I eat a lot of protein powder, protein shakes, things like that. There are a lot of freezer meals that they make that are high in protein, different kinds of like pea protein, things like that, where when you mix it in with other things, you can like barely notice it doesn't even taste like it. And I'm very honest about what tastes good and what doesn't taste good as a vegan. So
nice. All right.
Absolutely. So we again, we're not going to really talk about it, but national championship still on the table in ACW, world championship also on the table. Tag team, would you ever consider finding another partner to potentially go for those titles?
So I have a tag team partner. His name is the Phoenix GKM, and he has been on Awesome Championship Wrestling shows before. He, a couple months ago, tore his ACL, so now he's out for a couple months, but he's looking to come back sometime, hopefully soon. Okay. So that would be my tag team partner.
That's awesome. Awesome.
But is he a vegan too? That's the question.
He's not. He's the meat part of the team.
Okay.
That's perfect. All right. No, we saw him at the Poughkeepsie Rumble. Well, another talented wrestler. Perfect. I would love to get him on too one day. Leo, so what was great about this show this weekend, like I was saying, yes, it was in a bit of a smaller venue, but once again, it had one major championship on the line, which was the national championship. And I thought what was great about this show is that it actually put more focus on just one of the championships as opposed to going to any other show that has maybe multiple championships on the line. Mm-hmm. It just gave a nice little bit of a spotlight, I guess. And, you know, to be a part of that, to be in the main event for it, and to have one hell of an entrance, I must say, I don't know, as a wrestler, is that everything like things that you dream of being on the road for these kind of shows?
Absolutely. I feel very grateful. I get blessed with opportunities every weekend to do cool things, and I try and make the most of it. So when it is a cool entrance on a tractor trailer on the back of a hayride, something like that, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing that. I'm going to really enjoy it and soak it in.
Well, we did see Real One the next day. I think he was still shaking it off. So you may not have got the W, but he was definitely feeling it, I would say, the next day.
Good.
Yeah. Well, Leo, what is the best way for fans to keep up with you? So I know there's a lot of different things out there these days, but like Instagram, Twitter, what can fans?
I'm pretty active on social media. Same handle on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. X. Sorry, at No Steak All Sizzle. You could just look up Leo Sparrow. Find me on everyone. LeoSparrow.com. Got my merchandise. Got my matches. Just about everything you need. I'm easy to find if you need me.
Sure. I got one more question though for you, Leo. I don't know. We painted ourselves into a corner with the name of the show. We're another wrestling podcast. For being a wrestler, you have to have a gimmick, right? You got to have something going on with you.
Only if you're a good wrestler, you should have a gimmick.
Sure. How would you categorize yourself to where would it be in the realm of like, because you're talented. Is it like a comedic part of it, or because I feel like I've seen you serious and you're awesome. I've seen you do some comedy and you're awesome. Is there something that you like doing more or whatnot? Because, even going 2 shows back, you had a little bit of a run-in with Carlito at the show, inserting yourself into that 3-way match. Any thoughts on that match and maybe just kind of where you stand as a wrestler today or what you like really doing?
So I think that was a really good opportunity for me, and I wanted to really grab a hold of that because that was the third show of Awesome Championship Wrestling, and by that time the crowd had kind of knew who I was, but I really wanted them to leave saying, I know exactly who he is, I remember Leo Sparrow's name, I know exactly what he's about. So when I have that minute with the microphone, it's my job to make sure that everybody in the building will leave remembering everything that I stand for. And I think that I knocked it out of the park. And I think I had a great performance in the match, even though Carlito cheated by spitting apple in my face. I mean, who would want to throw something in somebody's face during a match? That's embarrassing, right?
Yeah, no.
That's against the rules. That should be a disqualification.
Yeah.
But I love having opportunities like that. And then opportunities against people like Enzo, where I main event the first show ever at Barton Orchards. You know, that was a building with 3 walls, but you would never be able to tell that all that sound escaped because the energy in there was so high. For a show like that, it was really special. And I'm always grateful, even when I don't win, even though I know I should.
No, perfect. I do have one more question for you, though, Leo, because I'm as I age, Jonathan, I keep forgetting stuff. So I'm like, but I do remember you, Leo, to where you had a moment in the MJN Center in Poughkeepsie, and you posted on social media to where you went kind of like full circle. You're back at this moment at the MJN Center.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that for us? Because, like I said, I remember you posted it, but I just kind of forget what was behind it. Maybe you can explain more. And I only bring this up because it's right up the street from us. It's in our own backyard, if you will. The MJN Center is our own MSG, if you will. But maybe you could tell some of the fans out there who are local watching about maybe your experience with this whole MJN
sure.
wrestling there.
All right, so a little bit of backstory on me personally. I went to business school because I knew that I always wanted to work for WWE. That's always what I wanted to do. Before I wanted to be a wrestler, I wanted to work for them in the corporate end. So I went to business school so I could do that. And I had secured myself an internship with WWE, and then COVID happened. So they called me and they said, hey, just wanted to let you know we're going to postpone our internship program. So, better luck whenever this thing clears up. So 2021 comes around and they got in contact with me again. And they said, we just wanted to let you know that we didn't forget about you. We just chose to bypass the internship program this year. And they basically offered me a position full time just to come in and work with the department that I was going to do an internship with. And by that time, that's when I had decided the world is ending. I want to do what I want to do with my life. So that's when I signed up for wrestling school. Wow. And I was like 6 months into my training and I knew like basically nothing on how to wrestle at that point. And I saw the vision, the same vision that I see now as a wrestler. And I said, thank you, but no, thank you. And I kind of said no to everything that I was working for. So I got to that point by taking opportunities like I had for the first time in 2018 at the MJN Center. There was a local wrestling personality, I guess, who was working on a pilot for a wrestling documentary series about wrestlers and moments in their career and going to location to kind of relive it. And the pilot episode that we were filming was with Sean Waltman, X-Pac, 123 Kid, about his match with Razor Ramon in that building with the $10,000 where he got knocked out on a concussion. So we walked right to the middle of the floor. He said, this is the spot that my head smacked the floor and I got knocked out cold. And then we walked to the back door. He said, this is the door that I ran out of in the video. You could see it. So I was kind of just like a production assistant there. And that was my first time there. And then my second time in that building was for the Poughkeepsie Rumble. Wow. So just to be able to go back as a wrestler after taking a bet on myself by saying no to what I had worked for previously in that building was just a very full circle moment for me.
No, that's awesome.
How can you not like this guy, Steve?
I'm saying we got some new.
No, I'm saying how come you don't like this guy?
I like everybody,
wow,
Leo. Don't believe him. I like everybody.
Hey, come watch me wrestle and I'll show you why you can't like me.
I'm just gonna say, like, again, my letters have thus far went unread, unanswered, because I also threw one in there about like kind of, I called it misconduct with Carlito spitting the apple, like you said, that's just unbelievable, and there should have been a DQ, and it's just so justice for Leo Sparrow.
It's trending right now. Believe it or not.
Absolutely,
It's out there.
worldwide. But Leo, I am looking forward to seeing you in action. We definitely are hoping that you've secured a spot for Mischief Night. And if there's anybody out there who's looking to do a perfect Leo Sparrow cosplay, because I heard that they're encouraging folks to
dress
come
up, yeah.
dressed up for the whole event. What do you think the best thing for a potential Leo Sparrow cosplay? What do they have to have if they're going to dress like you?
I'll tell you what, you can go to prowrestlingtees.com/Leo Sparrow and you can buy yourself one of the shirts that I wear to the ring.
Nice.
Try and cut it up like me and see if you could do it just as well as I do.
And don't forget your spinach.
That's right.
That is.
Don't forget the spinach. That's right.
Well, Leo, man, thanks so much for joining us, dude. Whenever you're around, we'd love to have you in the studio, but thanks so much for joining us tonight. It was kind of last minute. Things are going on, but appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
You got it, man. I'm always ready.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Very cool. Well, hey, that was a surprise bringing on Leo Sparrow.
You never know. I got some connections too,
I'm saying. So let's talk a little bit about this because it was one hell of a show. But more so Barton Orchards. Let's kind of talk about that again because I feel like growing up, I knew about Barton Orchards. I didn't go there. I think we went to another farm because it was closer to where I lived or whatnot. So I never had too many memories of it. I went there thinking, all right, they're going to have a show at an orchard. And I'm like, all right, what outside in the we go to this place. Okay, it's going to be in this building. Okay, let's go to the building. Like, I'm not thinking it's going to be what it is. I'm just like in my head when you say orchards or I'm picturing something else. But when you walked in, man, it's like I said, it was like a diamond in the rough, even though it's not rough, right? It's a great place. But who would have thought they had this kind of a venue right here, and it's so close to us? It's if the MJN Center's in our backyard, this is in our front yard or whatever. So it's I don't know. It was just I can't talk about it enough because I feel like growing up, we went to a lot of high school shows as fans. I used to go to a lot of independent shows just going to high schools. So when an independent show is at some other location, I don't have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
I don't, but like it was its own little mini arena.
I'm going to age myself here, but if you've ever watched the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes.
Remember when all the like kids that were like vagrants and they were like, they had like their clubhouse and they were all like skating and playing pinball. Like that's what I felt like that building was. Like if you could really like, if you had all the money in the world and you're like, I'm going to make a venue where people can come and wrestle and like there's a bar there and like there's food next door and there's music playing and stuff. It was really good. And Leo touched on something when he was talking about like that the sound didn't really, like the whole back end of that building is open. But I'll tell you when there was, that Vic Delicious match where they were hitting the ring, like the canvas, like I think like my wife was in Croton and I think she heard it. Like it was loud. It really showed itself as another venue that is ready for to be open. And it's just such a unique thing. Like again, I'm an experienced kind of person. So like I like going to new things and seeing new movies and music and all that stuff. And this venue has unlimited upside, really, and I really hope that ACW gets to go back there.
No, for sure. It was definitely, like I said, it was a smaller show, but it didn't feel like that.
And not with the amount of people there. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you're saying like sometimes when you go to like an open air arena, you lose that noise, but it was covered enough so that you felt like you were a part of the whole show, the fans yelling, the whole atmosphere. So it was pretty good. Well, we could talk about some of the show too. I mean, was there anything that stood out for you? I know we talked a little bit about the national championship with Leo Sparrow just joining us.
I mean, really, again, top to bottom, the card was like so well thought out. I think that it gave you a chance to see some people that maybe wouldn't have been highlighted on one of the other shows that ACW's done, but it had such like there. I've been to things before where you're like looking at your watch and like it felt like no time had passed really. So, but again, hard hitting. There was the Vic Delicious Danny Moff match that was we're talking about this beautiful venue, and I thought, okay, well they're not going to be able to use it anymore. There was, I mean, it was as hard hitting as I've seen. I got to see some new people that I hadn't seen before. Got to see Real One, defend, even though, whatever.
Well, how about even the card subject to change, because it was Zach Clayton versus Justin Carino versus Joe Ocasio, but then card subject to change, like I said, Kaz Jordan,
Rich.
Yeah, Richie Rich coming in, another standout from Perth or Australia.
Sure.
He's another Aussie, just kind of like Lena Cross, who's also a fellow. They're probably making fun of me over here because that Aussies,
No,
Australians.
Listen, Outback Steakhouse, whatever.
One talented guy.
Sure.
I didn't know anything about him.
No.
I just knew that he was on the show. But he was a character. I mean, I loved. He made the show. I think he made this match, I think, a lot better than what it could have. But even though I thought it was fine as it was, but adding him onto it, I think it was great. A nice fatal 4-way for that.
It was, and I mean, I've seen Zach Clayton a few times, but he's somebody that I could see tomorrow. Like, I know he had some time in AEW and things like that, but
TNA too.
yeah, I mean, I would put him on a roster any day, and that's what's crazy about seeing this pool of talent from the top to the bottom, from your Vic Delicious to your Tina San Antonio to Richie Rich to any of these folks. Like, they're really putting in the work, and as an outsider watching ACW, it does not feel like an independent.
Yeah.
It feels very much like it's this thing that
It's like your own personal Raw at home. Like, what I mean? Like, even whatever it is, AEW, Raw, SmackDown, I feel like I'm at a regular TV show without having to pay money to go to a regular TV show. Like, it's on TV, so, but you know what I mean? Like,
watch it now before they start charging $30 on ESPN. That's what I would say. So
we could talk about that later. It's there's a lot of things going on. Which anyway, it's a trigger word. Be careful.
I will say again, awesome venue. But if you are on the fence about going to see an ACW show, first of all, why? But second of all, October 18th, Mischief Night. News is slowly, creeping out there, but I think that the independent and potential match of the year, calling it now.
Independent match of the year.
Calling it now. Yeah. You've got ACW champion Richard Holiday going against Nick Nemeth, going against Matt Cardona, the Complete, going against Riddle. Like
fatal 4-way.
Fatal 4-way, like first time ever.
Yep.
That's it.
And it's not just that, though. It's a history of it. Because the first ACW show was Nick Nemeth versus Matt Riddle for the TNA championship.
Yep.
And also on that show, Richard Holiday won the championship. The second show, fast forward, you got Richard Holiday versus Matt Cardona.
Yep.
The third show, you got Richard Holiday versus Matt Riddle.
Yep.
So they all kind of tied in together a little bit. So they're all. It's been the main event all year.
Storytelling. That's what that is.
That's long-term storytelling in an independent promotion that a lot of indie places don't care. They just want to get your money. Like we're getting This is what I love stories. I love storytelling. And I love seeing something that actually has a full payout on a whole year of investing in it. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, and another thing that we heard is a special guest for ACW, someone who doesn't make a lot of appearances in this area, someone who probably frightened me as a. I mean, who am I kidding? Last night, like if I watched, but Vampiro is coming to Poughkeepsie, a very rare appearance. So if you need much more than that, I don't know what to tell you, but tickets are on sale, going fast. They've
already sold out ringside, man.
Yep.
200 something tickets, I think, already went or something. It's only been a day, so don't wait on it. And it's not even September yet. It's still August. So, no, man. Well, at the end of the day, I think it's just exciting to talk about a local promotion in our backyard that's actually doing more than your average other local promotion. Because I think, like I said, we grew up in the 80s. We've been to a lot of promotions around town. And I don't know, it's just something different about it. There's a different vibe about it, and everybody's having fun. I think Danny Moff even posted something today about it. How as a wrestler, it's a lot different. Like there's like a brotherhood going on.
Community,
And just knowing the now and how they operate, Vic Delicious, Hale Collins, they're doing stuff that other people aren't doing for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Something as simple as having water for when the wrestlers come back after a match or something like that. Little things like that, you know what I mean? And little things go a long way. So it's just probably running a pro wrestling show the way wrestlers want it, you know what I mean? As opposed to some slimy guy taking your money and just, throwing out whatever, trying to get as much money as he can. And it's just a much more enjoyable experience, I guess.
Yeah. And again, I think that that's really what we're starting to see is the tides turning. This is a very established promotion, and we're talking about their 5th show. It's takes years for that.
2025, sometimes. The year of awesome, the year of ACW, man. But no, guys, there's a lot more to talk about because we've been away. I'm a little bit burnt. I know we were on vacation. Not together.
Not together.
There's going to be a disclaimer when that happens. Not together. No, but I had some fun down the Jersey Shore. I was kind of mad because the first weekend I went away was SummerSlam.
Yep.
So the first night I got there, I'm like watching SummerSlam on my phone because I didn't realize they were doing it at the beginning of August and not the end of August.
Yep.
That's a whole other story. But what do you think? Maybe let's talk a little bit about SummerSlam.
Sure.
We don't have to run down everything, but what's something that stood out to you from night 1 or night 2 we can get into?
Well, again, we were both on vacation, not the same place. I was driving up towards Cape Cod, and I think I had just taken over the driving duties for my wife, and I was obeying the rules of the road, but we had it up on the GPS thing, and I want to talk about that CM Punk Gunther match. Obviously, it was a very good match. I think it shows why Gunther doesn't really need the title. I think it's great because when CM Punk came back, I think there was a lot of this talk about he's only going to put himself over. He doesn't care about the talent. He's only there to make money, not friends, blah, blah, blah. And in that moment is whatever you want to say about it, how it happened or whatever. I think the right outcome's great. They're still keeping this CM Punk Rollins thing relevant.
Yeah, I think that's going to be taken till Mania. You could ride this till Mania and have him main event and win there, and there's your story.
And again, it's still the bloodline. We saw a much longer sort of story situation with this Rollins and Punk thing. They're not even really touching on it on the Unreal sort of thing.
Let's talk about that next. Yes,
they're still not saying for all intents and purposes, these two guys hate each other. You know what I mean? And I like that. But I will say that the tease of Rollins coming out on crutches, and if you watch the videos online of people reacting to it, they were all like, oh, see, I told you he was really hurt and all that stuff. And then he drops those crutches, and, we saw what happened. So what did you think about the cash-in? Did you think it was too soon? Or what's the thing?
So I'm a CM Punk fan. I mean, I was happy that he won it, but I'm not happy that I'm not unhappy that he lost it that fast because I appreciate the storytelling that they're doing, that they could drag this out now till I would assume go to Mania. There's no need to stop now. It's just let's get through the next few months to get over there. But I would love to see CM Punk with it, to hold on to it, because I feel like, once again, he's one of those names that are still going, and he's one of the top names in the world right now, so why wouldn't you want to have a championship on him? But I think right now the best story is to see him probably chase it till Mania, regardless if that's where it happens, because things change. But I don't know. I think the more I watched the whole Rollins cash-in, I was hoping they would have done it a little bit different, played his music, and then he was just hopping out there, and I don't know. I feel like they could have did it a little bit different, but I thought it was funny, dramatic, to where it was throw the crutches, turn around, take off the stuff, and then go to the ring. So I was just first night, but no, I wasn't unhappy with it. I was okay with what had happened, but I'm just I would really like to see a championship reign from CM Punk.
Sure. Now I was a big fan of the women's matches. We had Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I think that I don't know. A lot of people, you get a lot of hate for Jade Cargill, but you have to realize that they picked her basically. Whereas before they may have put her in an NXT or something like that. They wanted to bring her up to the main roster because how she looks. Like she's
a superstar.
Yes.
You can't get. I'm sorry, she's not the perfect wrestler, but look at her. She's a rock star.
But when you put those two people who are relatively, I think they said something like Tiffany Stratton, like 4 years she's been wrestling, and she's like at that level.
Yep.
Jade, like, I don't want to say that AEW didn't do her any favors, but like if she had started in WWE, we may be talking about a totally different person.
Sure,
but ultimately, I think that match did really well. And then, the other match with Rhea and Io and Naomi, like, again, like, I just have to say it, I'm super happy with what's happening with women's wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Just because, we grew up in a time when it was either not on the card or it was kind of a humiliating sort of situation or whatever. So, back
to Jade, though, because, even with her loss, she still looks like a rock star. And I think she needed that. Like, feel like, because there's times where they keep building people up and they never lose and they never.
Sure.
They brought her down a notch, but it still elevated her because she can lose.
Yep.
And it's okay to lose.
Yep.
And you don't have to have that stigma of being undefeated and yada, yada, yada. And she's still the queen of the ring. She still has, a tag team championship under her belt. But I think she needed that loss to make her even more credible.
Yep.
She has to lose before she become a bigger star. So I think she needed it. I don't think it hurt her. It didn't hurt anybody. And I think Tiffany needed that win, too, to make her even more of a star. But yeah, man, they're building the women's matches up really crazy to where Rhea, Io Sky, if you look at Io Sky like a year ago, maybe less than that, but they had nothing for her. No. She was just sitting backstage. Now they don't know what to do with her.
Yep.
I mean, they have so much to do that they want to do with her to where, I mean, look at Monday night, how they're using her on Raw and whatnot. But I think Naomi, though, from rumor has it, she may be out longer for maybe she might be pregnant. I don't want to put out fake news, but that's a little dirt sheet thing you can get. Because that was kind of abrupt that they said that she can't wrestle on there. And then somebody Alvarez or somebody, I don't know, the dirt sheets are going on. People are talking online, so some people might think she might be pregnant or she probably just had a kidney stone. I don't know. Something's going on, so we'll see if that changes hands. But no, outside of WrestleMania Night 1, the biggest thing is the cash-in, I think, for that.
Sure.
Move on to Night 2, though, because we have a few things that have happened. And my biggest gripe that we have to talk about, because it's not even about the show, it's about The Rock and how he kind of effed Cena's whole half of goodbye tour, if you will.
Yeah.
The Rock has a lot of complaints against him to where people are saying Black Adam, they hated the movie, that he ruined the DC thing to where he snuck in Superman at the end. Spoiler, Henry Cavill, they did all that kind of stuff. He's been having his hand in a lot of pots lately, and a lot of those pots are stinking, and I think he was trying to use wrestling to kind of boost his worth a little bit again, but at the same time, I don't think he did himself any favors. We can go back to what happened months ago to where the whole Cody handing him the watch thing, or the Travis, even when Cena turned heel, like, okay, now when do we finish that story? To where this changed overnight to where Cena turned face on a SmackDown before SummerSlam, and there was no payoff for the heel thing. And granted, we could talk about the elephant in the room next, Brock Lesnar, but that's what stunk it for me, because I feel granted, I know you got to change tides and you got to change the wheel, things happen, but The Rock started something and couldn't finish it. You're not that busy. You could have come in and did one thing, finished the story, and then all could have been said and fine. But to where you just don't do anything, you come in with something stupid. Travis Scott, it was even sure they had to kick him out to where he wasn't training or wasn't doing right. But you don't even finish your story of what you started with the whole Cody thing. And I don't know. So that's what when I'm looking at SummerSlam, like, to me, as soon as he turned face again, I'm like, he's really not going to do anything for the story. Like, The Rock was not coming back to finish it at all. Just to give, even if he came back for 1 5-minute little thing and then that's it, I would have been happy with. So my whole point about that is that to where I feel bad for John Cena, because I feel like you had this awesome heel turn, which you would have never gotten from anybody else, kind of, to where he's probably one of the only guys that has stayed a babyface, a good guy, for his whole entire career. People have always asked about a John Cena heel turn. You turn him heel, And then you don't even capitalize or finish it out to where he's got to turn face on a SmackDown before SummerSlam just to.
But then
I don't know.
But it was really odd too because like then that doesn't really explain the match. Like he's like, "Oh, you showed me the error of my ways and you forged my signature and we're good now, but we're going to have a street fight." Like why would you like a street fight is for like two people, like it's the end of the feud, like
Sure,
we can't whatever. And you know, it's fine Cody gets the belt back, like that makes sense, but like I just feel like there's a lot of it's kind of like, you know, on It's Always Sunny when like Charlie's got like the board and it's got all these like conspiracy theories. Like I feel like that is what like The Rock's head is, and it's like, oh, what if we do a match against Roman Reigns, but then what if we get Travis Scott, and what if John Cena turns heel, and what if, and it's like, no, like let's finish one thing, and then let's see how that goes, like the watch thing, and they like leading up to like WrestleMania 41 when then all of a sudden, oh, we were going to do this all along. Well, no, you weren't. But like there was some good stuff in there where he was like, I remember he took him out on Raw and was like whipping Cody Rhodes and like he was like, don't turn off the camera and all that stuff. Like there was some good stuff there, but again, there's just like there wasn't the follow through. So I don't know.
That's what left the stink in the room because it was like, I don't care. We all knew Cena was going to turn face again. Yeah. But it's how we got there to where there was no payoff for any of that.
No.
That's
like
where it kind of leaves sour, and that's what sucks. So it's like, without harping on it too much, but that's kind of left it sour a little bit. Okay, but then all of a sudden you have the return of Brock Lesnar. Yeah. With that said, it kind of washed away anything Cody. I don't remember Cody of anything. All I remember was Cena turning face, and then Brock came out. Like, Cody gets kind of like put on the shelf with this kind of announcement where Brock didn't only return, but he kind of stepped in and messed with Cena, foreshadowing a match. And you think it would be the next show, but they haven't. It's not the next show. We don't know when that show is going to be.
No.
Maybe The Rock is just doing the booking. But so the Clash in Paris is going to be happening at the end of August, which SummerSlam usually happened at the end of August, but now that's flipped for obvious reasons. But all right, thoughts on Brock? Because the biggest, yes, we know he was in the Janelle Grant thing with Vince McMahon and whatever. But at the same time, I would assume that he's innocent because they're putting him on national TV. Whatever happened. He was.
I wouldn't
involved.
assume that. I would assume that it's a calculated risk. That's my thought. And I've had this discussion.
It's like see how the fans react.
Like, well, that and like, okay, if something comes out about him, they're willing to take X amount of heat. Sure. Because I don't know if you've noticed this, but they didn't really do a press conference. Yep.
That's what people were like wondering why they got rid of the after, because that's all it would have been about.
Yes. And rightfully so. These people are wanting to know what's going on. So I don't know. I think it's a calculated risk by WWE because you saw how far they distanced themselves from Vince. Yep. But when it comes to having Brock back, I would assume his stay is going to be very short. Yeah. I would assume that it's this Cena thing.
That's going to probably be the last match.
And it could even be like a retirement sort of situation, whatever. I don't know.
They both walk off into the sunset.
Again, I think they're playing to a certain demographic for that. Yeah. I don't think that like your girls aren't like, yay, Brock Lesnar's back. Like they don't care about Lesnar, exactly. So I think they're playing to a specific demographic, and I think it's really just this one payoff, and it's going to be a match with Cena. And I've heard that, and now whether this is true or not, because he kind of dispelled that rumor on SmackDown, that Cena's kind of picking he's calling the shots. That's why we got to see him with R-Truth. We got to see him with,
But he does say now that he doesn't pick his opponent. Yeah. He's never picked his opponent. So
I think that's not true. Right. But anyway, I think Lesnar's stay will be short, and even shorter if something does come out about his involvement.
So if you have less than 15 dates with John Cena. I know I think the Undertaker, you always go out on your back. You always lose. But John Cena beating Brock Lesnar, that's gonna be a huge pop. I don't know. I can't think of their history to where like I remember when he first came back years ago and he just destroyed Cena. Yeah. And I forget the whole payoff. I don't know if Cena even beat him at any of this, but like I don't know. Do you think Cena at the end of the day should go have that win for his last opponent, or should it just be another loss?
I mean, I don't know if that'll be his last opponent. I mean, like I think that whoever Cena's last opponent, he'll put somebody over. Yeah. I really do. Whether it's Cody again, whether it's The Miz, whether it's Logan Paul or whoever they put in with him, I think they'll ultimately let them win just because Cena. Yeah. I think it's a time-honored tradition. I think he does love wrestling. He did the kind of passing of the torch thing with Cody, but I think that they'll do similarly to what they did with Goldberg. Goldberg lost to Gunther, and then they did. Hopefully, they give him a little more time than they gave Goldberg. But yeah, so I don't know. I think now it's kind of like it's like a greatest hits DVD. Like if Edge or Jericho were still in WWE, he'd be having matches with them too. Sure. So
not so much time though. So it's almost happening. No more Cena. Sad.
Somebody I wanted to talk about because it plays into the whole Brock thing.
Sure.
Is Karrion Kross. Uh-huh. So I went the Friday before SummerSlam, met Karrion and Scarlett at Bookends in New Jersey.
They have everybody. They always get everybody.
They have everybody there. And when I was there, saw a few of our wrestling friends. Shout out Eric and Joe.
You're actually in his YouTube video.
I saw that. No big deal. No big deal. But that was interesting because now there's this documentary, and when we were there, it was clear that it was a WWE thing. Mm. Now it's kind of out there like it's not a WWE thing.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of speculation. Is this a work? Is it not? Triple H was sitting there after SummerSlam. They were chanting, "We want Kross," and he was like, "Well, you got him," but it was like, "We want Brock."
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Karrion Kross? Like, I'll be honest, he won me over because his time in
former guest of the show.
His time in NXT was good.
Yeah.
Coming off of MLW and all that. Then he kind of hit main roster. Vince put his little whatever gladiator gimmick on him. But for a while he was just kind of lost. Yeah. I felt not by any of his own fault, but then this whole thing where you started to see the puppet master, whoever he was linked with was having some trouble or whatever. I think that it is a loss. I don't know that he won't do better somewhere else if indeed he goes. But I think I saw Paul Heyman talk about it and him say that they kind of have the next Stone Cold with him.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on Kross.
Well, if the one biggest question is why do you like pro wrestling? Why do you watch it? This is the reason, because I don't know what's real and I don't know what's fake. Yep. And when things like this get blurred, whether it's real or whether it's fake, the not knowing is the best part of being a wrestling fan. Because yes, everything you watch, movies is fake. Even reality TV shows are fake. But when people harp on pro wrestling, it's fake.
Yeah,
the stories, man, you don't know what's real or what's fake sometimes. So this happening right now, whether I think it's real or not, I mean, I feel like there's too much involvement to think that it's fake, because if he was just leaving and his contract was ending, they would kind of leave him off TV and kind of sweep that under the rug. But there's little things this book tour, releasing the video, mentioning him on TV, and it's hard to understand if it's real or fake, because that's the best part of pro wrestling, is that the lines get blurred with this. So, but the dude, man, he's got a great voice.
Yep.
Give him a mic in the ring. I always felt like he was really good with promos, especially in NXT. He can talk the talk and he can walk the walk, kind of a thing. I don't know. I love his voice. He's got that. He has a unique, deep voice. I think he's just awesome when he does it. So I don't know, man. I hope he's not gone, but at the same time, maybe I do hope he's gone, because we'll probably see him in our backyard pretty soon. But I don't know, man. It's interesting. It's somebody who kind of got lost in the back, kind of found his way to the front in a unique way that nobody else has, and I feel like that's pro wrestling, man. Because whether it's real, whether it's fake, whether we're being worked or whatnot, who knows? But that's what I don't know. That's what's the fun part as a fan. You want to see what's going to happen next. So I think they'd be stupid to lose him. At the same time, they have so many wrestlers that it's maybe it's not a loss to them.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then, but if he did go to an AEW, they just gonna not use them right, or like there's all these other questions I have, and
Well, there's another
I
option.
hope they keep him.
He could stay in WWE. He could go to AEW. He could come to ACW, or he could come right here to Beacon Podcasting.
That's right.
If if he was looking for a specific place to do exactly what you and I are doing right now, he could definitely come over to Beacon Podcasting. Guys, this studio is incredible. It's we're just talking
State
here.
of the art.
But you look around here. We're not in our parents' basement anymore. Separate parents. I do want to make sure that's clear too. But check out Beacon Podcasting for all your podcasting needs. And stop in sometime and see this for yourself in person.
That's right, man. Tell Sal AWP sent you.
Absolutely.
And tell Anil too AWP sent you. And shout out to Anil backstage right now, running the show with Sal and
us
everybody.
look good.
That's right, man. No, it's been an interesting time, man. The past few weeks have been crazy. We came off going to a show at the Civic Center on May 17th. 3 weeks later at Barton Orchards with SummerSlam. So this summer has been packed with a lot of stuff. But one of these shows I want to talk about is the Unreal show.
Yep.
And it's weird that I feel like the old man in the yard now.
Yep.
Get off my lawn, because if you're talking to 18-year-old Credo and you told me about this behind-the-scenes kind of show, I'd be all over it. I'd be like knowing everything they say all the time. A lot of F-bombs in the show.
Sure.
They like to curse. But at the end of the day, I feel like 18-year-old Credo would have loved it. 43-year-old Credo, I don't know, man. It's like... People say that line, like they don't want to see, they like the sausage, but don't want to see how the sausage is made, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like wrestling. What was the Wrestling with Shadows of Bret Hart?
Yep.
When that came out and it was off the mat or under the mat. Beyond the mat.
Yep.
Something with the mat.
Yep.
That came out. That was like the first time as wrestling fans growing up in the 90s that we got to like peel back the curtain and see something that was happening behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah.
And now with this, they were like, it's pull back the curtain, welcome, hop in, grab some popcorn, and watch what's going on. Now it's like, what's a work, the writing of the show or the show? And it's I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it, because it's like at one point I like it, another point I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like it's got to be exhausting, because like you're flexing different muscles in one day. Like you're about to go out for WrestleMania, and so you know what your character is and all that stuff. But now they're backstage with the camera in your face. Are you the real person? Like they caught the moment where like CM Punk was like crying because he is a main eventer in WrestleMania. Like, is that Phil Brooks, or is that Phil Brooks acting like
because they're filming behind the scenes?
Because they're filming behind
exactly.
the scenes. Like it's a little unique in that situation where, if you're a movie star or whatever, like there's a clear separation, right?
And
like,
I film people for a living, so it's like when you have a camera in someone's face, they're always different.
Yeah,
they're always like they're not going to be picking their nose or anything. But like when you have a camera on you, I mean, a lot of these cameras in here are a little bit smaller, but they're like. That there's a camera on you, so I feel like you're gonna act different. I always like the videos of John Cena doing autographs, and then he just like looks at this person filming him.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's real, if it's just playing fake stuff. But no, man, I don't know, because it's like I'm only halfway through. I was actually on the Rock episode of them telling us it was someone's idea for these certain things. And I was like, yeah, right. This is your cover up to make it not look like the Rock had any idea with it. But no.
But I think that's the other thing too, is now they have this other outlet where they can spin it however they want.
Exactly. And you'll never know what's going on, man. And
that's what happened when R-Truth came back, which I think was a huge mess up by WWE. That press conference that night, they were like, was it real or was it a work? And Triple H is like, enjoy the show or whatever. And I'm like, you definitely, you guys got rid of him. You didn't think that people were going to care.
Exactly.
They cared, and you brought him back. And now, again, even with that, like he shaved his head on TV, and now he's like,
did he go face too? Because then I see him live with Cena, so he turned face the same night as John Cena.
It's
wrestling, man. I don't know. I love
it. And we love to hate it, and we hate to love it. And it's.
But at the end of the day, so I mean, like with this show, it's like I'm watching it. I'm not hate watching it like some of the Marvel shows on Disney where you have to like be force fed. But no, man, I don't know. I like seeing the behind the scenes stuff. I even liked it on Total Divas. That was the only reason I watched it, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the behind the scenes, like they pulled the curtain back, but not enough. This one's like,
There is
this
no
guy.
curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Have you ever shit yourself in the ring? Like that was.
It's like, all right, this is what really goes on.
Yeah.
No, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it until I watched every episode. But at the same time, I get it, man. Content is king. And, if you're showing more about yourself, people are going to get more invested in it. And I guess the older fans kind of want to see how it goes on. Maybe even the adults, maybe parents who are curious about wrestling, they're kind of like, oh, all right. And now they might feel easier about taking their kids to these things. I don't know. I'm just thinking now, I don't know how it makes other people feel that may not know it as much as us or whatnot.
I think it really does give another avenue for people too, like because they only have so much time on Raw or whatever. So like it gives them another avenue. Like let's say that next season they're talking about Bayley. Like, okay, we're watching the show kind of in conjunction with like, oh man, like I really like her. I wish she'd get a break. And like, so it's in a way, it's another avenue for them to kind of create sympathy or hatred or whatever. Like if Rock comes back and he's acting like a jerk, then they can be like, well, we don't like him because he did that thing on Unreal. But yeah, I mean, again, never a better time to be a wrestling fan. There's so much wrestling out there.
So much wrestling, man. There's 2 manias. What's going on with this? And we'll get the notes. We didn't have to end it on this note, but like we're going to get a mania and Saudi Arabia is getting a mania?
This is all money, man. This is all speculation, but yeah, there's a potential for 2 manias. I think it's just crazy. Call me old fashioned, but I like my mania one night long.
It's like, we're gonna have Christmas and summer and no, come on.
No. I mean, you do get Christmas in July sometimes, and then Christmas in December. But this is. If I had another segment called, I have a lot of feelings. I definitely have a lot of feelings about this, or some big feelings.
Tell us how you feel. Yeah. Oh man, well, either if the Saudi Arabia government is listening, you feel free to sponsor us at another wrestling podcast.
Yeah. And then I'll love it. And then
dollar bills, $100 bills.
Yeah,
we'll take it all. I mean, we'll advertise you. What's that?
Dinar.
That's
their unit of money, I believe. Someone can fact check me on that, but
dinar.
Yeah. So, the talk is that there won't just be one mania, possibly 2 manias. And I kind of thought that's what Crown Jewel was for them. Yeah. But now they moved Crown Jewel. It's going to be in Australia, I think. What? So, yeah, I think that I don't know what's going on in the world of travel and wrestling, but I get they want to be global, and that's totally fine. I just think that part of what makes Mania so great is that it is a melting pot for everyone. I don't know that many people are going to be...
Oh, wait a minute. Is this going to be like the greatest Royal Rumble or whatever that was? This is going to be the greatest WrestleMania? Because they're going to be like, we have the greatest
We're going to dig up Andre the Giant, and he's going to be in the main event against Bill Goldberg.
But anyway, if you guys do want to sponsor us, feel free, Saudi Arabia. We're ready for have another Saudi Arabian podcast.
You heard it here first.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for stopping by. BeaconPodcasting.com. We'll see you in a week or 2.
See you soon.
Soon. Somehow soon, guys. All right. Get out of here.